So we're going to talk about water rates and then sewer rates tonight, and just a summary for people who haven't gone through this before, either in the audience or up here. For our water rates, we have a $60 capital charge on each account per quarter, and you'll see in a couple of minutes that makes up a sizable amount of our revenue on the water side. We have a 4-tier system. The first tier is 0 to 24,000 gallons for the quarter. You pay a certain rate for, and then in 8,000 gallon increments, higher rates as you go. So I spent some time with work that Ms. Hebert had done, some analysis of where we were at with our expenses and whatnot, and we kicked around 3 different options for how to handle those goals that we just looked at a moment ago. Option 1 was an across-the-board 8% increase in the water rate with no change in the capital charge. Option 2 was to take the lowest tier, the 0 to 24,000 gallon tier, and split it in half. So our lowest users, the elderly couple living on their own with no children, aren't using a lot of water, we're getting really hammered by their capital charge, but aren't using much water, not increase their price quite as much. So maybe that first 8,000 gallons that everybody uses only go up 4% on that. Because you can't do that for free, it'd be a 10% increase for water above that 8,000, but you end up with about the same total revenue coming into the system. You're shifting a little bit of it from the smallest users to the average users. So this is what the residential quarterly would look like with the 8% flat that we were talking about. And one thing I'd like to point out is the last line, row 12 there, is actually the capital charge coming in. And you can see where for fiscal 26, it's pulling in $900,000 out of the $2 million that we take in. So that's why I say it is a huge piece of it. This sheet here shows kind of a summary by tiers of how much revenue we're getting. And you can see that the low-end users are the ones doing most of the usage. 62,000 gallons is being consumed by people that are in the 0 to 8,000 gallon per quarter. In summary, this sheet is for the flat 8% across-the-board increase. This shows you what our revenue was in fiscal 26. With that 8%, this is what our revenue would be in fiscal 27. So we're increasing our revenue by about $200,000 by doing that 8% increase. If we look at our budget for the year, that means we have an excess revenue, if you will, projected at $260,000. So in this case, we took what is tier 1, which is 8, 16, and 24,000 in the old model, where the fiscal 26 they have the same rate. You can see that in fiscal 27 we actually split that, and the rates for the other tiers all go up 10%. You'll see that the excess revenue is about $272,000, so it's about the same. This one, you'll see it's about the same excess revenue. We tried to target somewhere making an extra $270,000. Sewer usage is handled, for those who don't know it, based totally on water usage, because we really only looked at one option because it was simple and less controversial. Just put an 8% increase in the sewer rates, and this is what it looks like. It gives us $200,000 of excess revenue versus our budget for the year.
I'll move the select board vote to approve water and sewer rates as presented for FY27, utilizing option 1 for water and the only option for sewer.
Second.
Any more discussion before we vote? Okay, in that case, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.